back, everyone. It is Sunday sit-down time. We got KTGR's co-host of the big show, Brenden Schaeffer, virtually in the house with us for Sunday sit-down. Brenden, one of these days we are going to get you in the house for Sunday sit-down.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it. It's going to happen eventually, but for now, it's nice to be joining you virtually.
Well, you know, what a time we have coming here. It's about to be a very busy week. Mizzou football kicks off 4 days away. Can you believe it's already here, Brenden?
I can believe it. We've been talking about it all summer, it feels like, and getting through fall camp, and now we are officially in game week. It is fantastic. I think everybody around here is ready to have the Tigers back on the gridiron.
Well, I'm excited to finally have something a little different to cover, right? We finally have some action here. You know, tell me your overall evaluation of what we have going into Thursday night. Obviously, I know the big topic of conversation is the quarterbacks. I feel like we've knocked this one into the ground.
You know, we kind of have, but it is a big storyline, especially in year 4 for Eli Drinkwitz, to go ahead and make sure he gets that decision correct, right? You've got Brady Cook coming off of the kind of strange year that he had with the injury that he played through. We didn't really know about it until the end of the season, but did a nice valiant effort, especially down the stretch when he started to run the football more and really kind of lean into that element of his game. Brady, I think, for all that was considered last year, did a nice job, but Sam Horn seems to have had a lot of development over the offseason where the Tigers coaching staff is finally ready to maybe see what it looks like for him to take his shot at that job. I don't know that I can handicap it in either direction, but it does seem to be down to those two competitors, and we'll probably see a healthy dose of both of them on Thursday. But in general, I think what you also have to be excited about with this Tigers team coming back is all of the guys on Blake Baker's defense that maybe they could have had a shot at going to the NFL last year, but a number of them decided, hey, we have a chance to do something special here in Como in 2023, so we're going to come back for that extra year and see what we're able to cook up. I think the Tiger defense, as good as it was last year, could be the unit that paces this team once again. If it's going to get to the heights that it hopes to achieve, I think that defense is something to be excited about as well.
That defense definitely something to watch. Jumping back to the quarterbacks, you know, how tough do you think it is if you go a couple games of playing two quarterbacks, going back and forth between Brady and Sam? How tough do you think that is to really balance, you know, getting both of them a fair shake there?
Yeah, I think in the first game, it's honestly, hopefully something that they'll just carve up relatively 50-50 just to see what it looks like. Because that game against South Dakota, you've got an FCS opponent. In theory, Mizzou should be able to handle that one pretty easily. But then you even get into week 2, a game against Middle Tennessee State. That's no slouch necessarily from a mid-major program. So I agree. Eli Drinkwitz is going to kind of have his work cut out for him, making sure he knows exactly the way he wants to go about it. But I think it also is the thing that needs to be done in this situation, just to make sure he has all the information available at his disposal to make the best decision possible for a 12-game run, because this is a big year for Drink. We've had some 500 seasons that we've seen out of his coaching tenure so far, but to be able to take that next step and have a winning year, I think this is a critical time to do it, and making sure the quarterback is the guy that it needs to be is probably central to that situation. So I think that's why they're going to go about it the way that they are, and I'm excited, like everyone, to see how it plays out.
Well, obviously, you need to have a good offensive line to have effective quarterback play, right? You know, what improvements have you kind of seen being made to this offensive line? I feel like there's so much more versatility, guys that can play multiple spots this year.
There definitely are, and they added some guys in the transfer portal that I think will be helpful. But the other aspect of that, too, is a group that last year definitely struggled with some inexperience has honestly, I think, had a good offseason to where they come in a little bit more veteran, a little more experienced and ready to take on the challenges. Like Connor Tollison is a good example, a guy that was kind of thrown into the fire last year at the center position. He was able to retain that job despite the fact that the Tigers went out and got a guy like Cameron Johnson that they thought could end up taking over that center job. Connor Tollison was able to hold on to his gig, and now Cameron Johnson can probably play one of the guard spots. Like, I think the depth of the offensive line is something that they just didn't have last year when they were scrambling to just find 5 guys that could go out there and play. I think now they have a luxury a little bit more than they did that season, and that could be helpful to the offense as well.
We'll talk about depth, the wide receiver room. It's very rare that you have a guy like Dominic Lovett leave, go to Georgia, and you still have such depth, such effectiveness in that room. Luther Burden obviously moving into the slot. You know, what do you feel like is the expectation for a guy like Luther Burden, who so many fans had expectation for him in just his freshman season?
Yeah, I think Burden kind of settled in nicely as a freshman last year, and it was helpful to have a guy like Lovett really take on the target leader as the guy as the number one wide receiver in the offense. But I think it's now going to be kind of time for Burden to step into that role. They're moving him to the slot, which means probably he'll get a lot of looks, right? He'll get peppered with targets throughout these games. and that'll just be more opportunity for him to touch the football and to make moves after the catch with it. So I think he's going to step into a pretty big role this year that is vacated by Lovett. But then you have the transfer Theo Weiss that I think can be that big-bodied receiver on the outside, and maybe even have some steps forward by guys like Mookie Cooper and Mekhi Miller is another name that he kind of came on strong toward the end of last year and could show even more in 2023. Like, with the depth of that room, I think even if one guy doesn't step up the way you're hoping he will, there might be somebody else that's there to take the spot. So it's going to be important for an offense that I do believe is going to be more pass-oriented than it was last year. When you bring in the new offensive coordinator, Kirby Moore, I think that's going to be the name of his game coming over from Fresno State. They're going to want to throw the ball downfield, and I think that's part of the decision with quarterback as well, finding the guy that they believe can best execute the new-look offense that they're going to employ.
Well, Mizzou fans have a lot of hope. Season hasn't started yet. Let's switch over to Cardinals fans. I think the hope is dwindling a little bit. We got to go there. You're the one we got to talk to about the Cardinals. What's going on? That's all I'm going to ask. What's going on, man?
Wow, leave it real open-ended for me. It's so easy to answer that question. No, it's been a really rough season for the Cardinals. Cardinals fans are not used to seeing it go this way. And I think mostly people have sort of accepted the new reality that they live in with the Cardinals. I mean, they get swept over the weekend in Philly. It's been a lot of losing series lately, and they're way below 500. This is not going to be a playoff year in St. Louis, and everybody kind of understands that. But it is disappointing to see that even down the stretch, you're not necessarily always getting the bright spots that you were hoping to at least be able to learn about for next year's team. The offense has sort of taken a dive, and we're not seeing consistency from that group. And that's something that we don't really talk a lot about. Everybody says, hey, we figured the starting pitching would be kind of rough when you traded away a really solid 40% of your rotation at that trade deadline. People knew that August would be kind of lean, but the idea that the offense is kind of struggling now, too, is probably disappointing for those that look to 2024 and say, hey, as long as you fix the pitching, things might end up being okay. But if you don't have the offense that goes with it, 2024 is not necessarily a given. John Mozeliak and company certainly have their work cut out for them this offseason to try and fix what has been a really unfortunate summer in St. Louis.
Well, thanks for discussing the state of affairs in St. Louis. We'll focus on the good thing. We're going to go into Thursday night open-ended. We don't know what's going to happen for this Thursday night
Exactly. Exactly right. Yeah, we had to do it. Had to talk some Cardinals. But, hey, Tiger football is back, and we couldn't be more excited about it around here.
We love to see it. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, Brenden. Hopefully we'll get you here soon. I promise.
All right. Yeah, we'll make it happen. I promise.
Sounds good. For the rest of you guys, we'll be right back after the break.